Love to honor our nation's heroes, those who have answered the call to be brave and serve our great nation in the most courageous way. And Madison County Hall of Heroes aims to do the same. The incredible program, honors local veterans who have gone above and beyond. And today we're getting to know one of its inductees right here on air and learning how you too can join this very special group. Clay and Zig, thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful again for you being here, and of course even more for the work that you do in the Valley. Mr. Zig, I want to start with you because you spent a number of years again in service. You served overseas as well in Vietnam. So curious if you have, I'm sure again it's a lifetime of dedicated to America, and we thank you so much for it, but any kind of specific experiences or moments that stand out from your time in the service?
Well, I wound up in the Air Force, and I spent 20 years as a fighter pilot in the Air Force flying the F-4 Phantom. And yes, I've been overseas, east and west, and Germany, Egypt, Okinawa, overseas, and a year in Vietnam, flying in Vietnam. In Vietnam, I flew combat in 1972, and that was the year the North Vietnamese invaded South Vietnam. And so I wound up flying both over Hanoi and flying air-to-air over Hanoi, and also dropping bombs in the South.
Wow.
And flew a little over 200 missions.
We thank you so much for it. And we're seeing, I love these historic pictures. And again, I just feel like you see, just the courage and bravery. And we can never imagine, but to think that you did just that again for this great nation. And Clay, of course, you're now part of something called the Madison County Hall of Heroes. And Mr. Zig is likewise part of that. So tell me kind of what this process looks like for you, again, meeting people like Mr. Zig and kind of deciphering, hey, we got to give this man an additional honor.
Yeah, so several years ago, we came here. I was active duty Navy, transferred about 11 years ago, and just immersed in the community. Absolutely loved it. Wound up retiring in 2018, and found out about Madison County Military Heritage Commission through a dear friend and mentor of mine who was the prior president, and then came on board and found out about the commission's mission of preserving and promoting the military history of Madison County, and dove in, got to meet wonderful folks like Zig and our other board members and all of our members of the Hall of Heroes. And I'm a history buff. I was a political science major in undergrad, and so the whole idea of preserving military history and preserving specifically for the community, and this community is so fantastic in support of veterans, but particularly we, through recognition, remembrance, and education, are the pillars that we execute that mission of honoring that military heritage and preserving that military heritage. It's so important because, Ronald Reagan said that we're one generation of extinction in terms of our freedom away if we don't make sure to preserve it and remember it. And so through recognizing veterans from Madison County who have earned a Valor Award in combat, just as Zig has, that we can then tell their stories. We preserve them through videos that are played in the school through Huntsville City Schools with educational television, and then those videos are preserved at the Library of Congress for further research. And we are setting up a scholarship program that students can go in to do research on the veterans, on the heroes, to be able to earn significant scholarship awards. But really it's trying to get that younger generation, the community at large of course, but the younger generation to understand the sacrifices that people have made to allow them to live in this great country.
Yeah, because I think it's fair to say they really don't understand for whatever reason. I think more so in common day. I think we've seen unfortunately a drastic cultural shift, and so grateful again for the work that you're doing to remind people what it really means to be free and to step up and again put that bravery on the line that we're so grateful that you have done. And so with that too, again, we do want to stress you're taking applicants, right, for people who want to be part of the Madison County Hall of Heroes. You do a big celebration, big commencement ceremony in November, which we know that 48 is proud to be part of. So kind of tell me what this looks like for people who want to get involved, people who want to support what you do, whether they want to again be recognized or even just support the great mission, kind of what that involvement might look like.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. No, we have called through many of the folks that we know of currently. We go through VA department, through Still Serving Veterans, other veterans organizations in town to help us find veterans who are qualified to actually be inducted in the Hall of Heroes. And what we've kind of, like, you know, from Zig's generation, Vietnam War, and prior Korean War, we've pretty much kind of run that well dry. And we know with the incredible growth that we've seen in Huntsville, with all the folks moving in with new commands and new businesses, that many folks have served. Or especially if you have friends and family and neighbors that you know who have served, that they just don't know what our mission is and who we are and what we're trying to do. And so I'm confident that there are probably new folks that have come. And if you're a Madison County resident for 3 consecutive years, you meet the residency requirement, and if you've earned a Valor Award in combat as a veteran, then you qualify. So please, I do ask all your viewers and other folks to get the word out, and then if you know someone who has served, go up to them and ask them about their service. Thank them for their service, of course, but ask them about their service, and really to emphasize that if a veteran is maybe reticent, because we find this many times, the veteran's like, well, I did my duty, I did my job, I don't need any special recognition, and I gently tell them and lovingly tell them it's not about you.
Yeah.
That we need to know your story, the community needs to know your story, and so we need to be able to preserve your story. And yes, we want to recognize you and honor you, and during the Veterans Dinner and WAFF that partners with us to do the videos for our veterans for the parade and for the dinner, that does such a fantastic job. I mean, we really get to highlight those, but then those stories get to be told, and again, partnering with the schools and with the youth, that you really can make a huge impact and a difference in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that you mentioned that. I think there is just such a inexplicable level of humility that I think so many veterans bring, but knowing that you're doing a service by sharing again your story with the next generation. As you said, we're one generation removed from possibly losing our freedom. So guys, thank you so much. Mr. Zig, I want to thank you. Clay, thank you as well again for your service to this great country. We're going to have more details on the Madison County Hall of Heroes on our website, tvliving.com. But for now, thank you again so much for what you're doing, and God bless America. I appreciate you both being here.
Peyton.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it.